Good morning and welcome to STEAM Camp. My name is Miss Ashley. I'm a librarian with the San Mateo County Libraries, and this is my daughter Lily. We're here in our living room in Pacifica, and we're here with a series of challenges for you. Last week we started with a fort building challenge. Today we're going to be making a bridge, and it's a really simple bridge. All you have to do is build a bridge across two chairs. So any two chairs in your house, and you want to put them a foot apart. So we have a ruler here so we can make sure our chairs are a foot apart. We have two sets of chairs here. It doesn't have to be exact. So if you don't have a ruler, just kind of estimate. You could even make it more than a foot if you want an extra challenge. But that's the first part of the challenge. The second part is that you want your bridge to be able to hold a hardcover book without falling down.
We'll be showing you the test results with the bridges in a few minutes.
Yes, that's the fun part of the challenge. So before we begin, we need to talk a little bit about engineering. So if you were with us last time, you might remember the 3 steps. Engineering is a word that means problem solving using the design process. So the design process can be described in a lot of different ways, but the way we're going to use is from the Bay Area Discovery Museum. They just break it down into 3 really easy steps, and they are think, make, and try. So last week we learned a little song to remember those 3 steps, and we're going to do that song again. So we're going to start with the signs in sign language for those 3 steps. So this is think. That one's pretty easy. Touch your head. Make, you put one fist on top of the other, like you're doing 1 potato, 2 potato, and then turn your hands this way so your thumbs are facing you. So that's make, kind of like you're using some kind of a tool. And try, you can put your fists out in front of you with your thumbs facing in and kind of scoop your fists like this. That's try. So the song is to the tune of the wheels on the bus, and let's try it out. We are engineers, so we think, make, try. Think, make, try. Think, make, try. We are engineers, so we think, make, try. That's how we design. Good job. So we tried again a little faster just to make sure we got it down. Here we go. We are engineers, so we think, make, try. Think, make, try. Think, make, try. We are engineers, so we think, make, try. That's how we design. All right, now that we know the design process and we'll never forget it, let's go through the steps to make our bridge. So our first step is to think. For this part, you might even want to get a piece of paper or a notebook and write down your ideas or draw some pictures. And then what are some things we want to think about? Well,
what you want to think about is materials.
That's a really important one. And
like you could, some materials have to be like pretty strong.
That's something to think about. How strong are the materials you're using? Can you tell us which ones you used here?
So for this one, I used toilet paper rolls.
Can you show us how those fit together?
What I did was I kind of like scrunched them up and I put them in. It kind of like slide in.
So you can make that one a little longer or shorter. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't go too far, but it is still pretty neat how you can kind of retract it.
So that's one type of material. Everybody's got a lot of toilet paper rolls, hopefully by now. What's your second bridge made out of?
My second bridge is made out of string. Like I duct taped it to the chair because have you ever been to like some kind of site or something like over a canyon or something? Usually you can find like a rope bridge where you kind of like walk across it and it swings.
Those are a little scary, aren't they?
Yeah.
Now your third bridge used an entirely different method, right? You didn't put it just across the top here.
No, I kind of filled the gap using stacked cards, and it basically just fills the gap. I think it's called like a Trestle Bridge.
That's right.
We'll discuss that when we get to the pictures.
Yes, so we're going to show you some pictures of different types of bridges, and you can see how Lily's kind of matches the different types. The simplest type of bridge that is called the beam bridge. That's just literally like a board or a log, or in this case, some toilet paper rolls stretched across the gap. I guess technically this one made out of ribbon is also a kind of beam bridge because it's just a straight across. I'm going to show you an example in real life of a type that you may have seen before. A beam bridge. You may have walked across something like this. It's a little scary, especially if there's no handrails, but just a log across a stream is a type of a beam bridge.
You can kind of see that it looks similar to my toilet paper roll bridge.
Exactly. So that's just something that's stuck across the gap. It can work pretty well, but it can be harder. It only works well in a short space, so you wouldn't want it for a longer gap. So that's something to play around with. That's a beam bridge. And our second example is a trestle bridge. So the trestle bridge, in this case, it's not going over water. This was for a train to go across. And the trestles are these things coming down to the ground they're kind of triangular shaped, and they're holding up the bridge from the ground. The problem with that type of bridge is it makes it harder for boats to go through. So in this case, that wasn't an issue because this was for trains. But there are examples of this in real life too. We have one right here in the Bay Area called the San Mateo Bridge, where Highway 92 goes across. You may have been on this bridge. It's actually the longest bridge in California. So clearly you can make a very long bridge this way. You see it's got trestles going all the way along the bridge under here, and you can still fit some boats through there. So you can use that kind of bridge in real life over water too. The third type of bridge we didn't build, although Lily did give it a try, is a suspension bridge. That's our most famous bridge right here in San Francisco area, the Golden Gate Bridge. This one uses a big tower, or a couple of big towers, with some supports coming down from the top and holding the bridge up. So you can see that. Lily did try to build a suspension bridge, and what happened?
It like fell over. I tried using a bottle and a milk carton to kind of hold it on and keep the strings on, but in the end, when I put the book on, the string just pulled them down.
So we challenge you to try to make a suspension bridge and send us some pictures.
And hopefully you will not use some kind of uneven, like the weight sometimes isn't even. Like when I used a spring water bottle and a milk carton, but those don't weigh the same. I also recommend filling them with water if you're using some kind of bottle.
Right. So she was experimenting with some things, and she found it's good to make sure the supports you're using are the same weight. So it's something to think about if you try it, but we hope you give it a shot and let us know how it goes. The next step of our process, after we've done our thinking about what materials you have, so the ones that Lily used, she used ribbon, you could use toilet paper rolls, she used greeting cards, you could use cardboard, tape, paper, just about anything in your house, popsicle sticks, silverware. Use your imagination, see what you can come up with and how it works. So when you think about your materials, you want to think about what the weight of your hardcover book's going to be. And you want to think about where you're going to put your bridge. Ours is, again, in the living room like our fort was, because that's our main space in our house. Those are just a few things to think about. And once you've done all your thinking, you get to do the making process. So what happened in your making process, Lily?
Well, sometimes like it falls because like sometimes you don't secure things well, or sometimes one small weakness can just make the entire thing fall apart.
And which one did you have the most trouble with?
Suspension bridge.
And which one of these did you have the most trouble with?
Probably the one made out of cards.
Yeah,
because those are so hard, because one tiny little bend in one of the cards could result in major collapse.
So it's literally a house of cards. So I even have a picture of what happened in one of these in our making process here. Lily was trying it out at a different place. She had a successful stack of cards going across two chairs, and the book was on top. but then it fell down. So that can happen in the make process. It can be a little bit frustrating. So be prepared for that. The make part of the process is where you run into some surprises and challenges, but it's also the part where you learn what to do differently next time. So it's actually kind of one of the most important parts of the process. Apart from our next step, which is the try process. So let's give it a shot. We're gonna see if our bridges pass muster here.
Okay.
Our hardcover book.
First bridge. The what did you call this type?
It's a beam bridge made out of toilet paper rolls. Here we go.
Okay, looks like it works.
It worked. Yay. We'll take this away so we can see our next bridge in action.
This one is the rope bridge, which is also a kind of a beam bridge. Okay, moment of truth.
Da, 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 da.
Wow!
Wow, it held up too.
Okay, and now I'm
now
gonna go back
the
here.
real chest is our trestle bridge here.
Which is probably likely to fall, but we can hope.
Let's see.
Oh!
Our trestle bridge fell down.
Told ya.
So, well, we learned something today, didn't we, in our try part, and then we can do it all over again. That's the beauty of the design process, is that you can keep doing it over and over again, and your designs hopefully get a little better, a little stronger each time.
Out of all of these, I think this one's probably the most secure because it's like duct taped. But
you can even put your little doggy friend on there. If you want an extra challenge, like I said, you could try to make your gap longer. You could even try to make a bridge that you could drive a little toy car across. You can have a lot of fun with this challenge. You could try different weights of books. You can challenge your family. Oops. Well, and it can't happen if the book falls down with the dog on top. So you can challenge your family to come up with a better bridge design. Have fun with it. And the last thing I want to ask you to do is to share your pictures of your bridges with us.
I love to see them.
You would love to see them. We'd love to share them in our future programs.
And if you managed to actually successfully do the suspension bridge, please share it with us. I need to know.
Yeah, so if you could ask your grown-up to help you share pictures on Facebook or Instagram with the tag @SMC Library so we can see it, and the hashtag SMCL Creates, which we're asking people to do with all the things they share this summer so that we have a chance to see what you're doing. We miss you, and we'd love to see what you're doing in your living rooms, in your houses. The last thing I do want to remind you, if you haven't signed up for the summer learning program yet, make sure you go to summerlearners.org. Right here, this is not the right address, but this is the Summer Learning Challenge. And it's, you can sign up. It just takes a minute to fill out the form on here. And it's open to anyone up to age 18. And you have the chance to win a $1,000 scholarship for college. So please take a few minutes to fill that out and join our summer learning program. And we hope you will join us next week. We'll be making chairs for stuffed animals. In the meantime, have a wonderful week and hope to see you next time.
Good luck with your bridges.
Yes.